All right, this is interview number 3. I have Mr. and Mrs. Boudreaux with me. Thank you for taking your time out of your day for me to interview you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, so to start off with, I want to ask you both if you do know what imperialism is.
I'm not quite sure.
No, I don't.
Okay, so I'll explain to you both what it is. So imperialism basically it is one country goes to another country that's foreign to them, and they basically go there, they take everything that they see as a profit and that benefits their country and basically leaves the other country with nothing they can use anymore pretty much. But that it was a long time ago, but now in today's society, there is a different way of doing that now, which is now called neo imperialism. And I'm going to ask you some questions related to that.
Okay.
All right, so to start off with, have you guys ever taken any type of trip that deals with the tourism industry?
Yes, we went on a cruise.
Okay, and do you remember what that cruise line was called?
Princess.
Princess. Okay, and do you know what country or who they're affiliated with?
I don't believe it's an American company. Believe it's a foreign affiliate.
So like a European country, probably.
Probably.
Okay. All right. And then while you were on this cruise ship, did you feel like the people that were working there, did you feel like they were getting paid at least a good amount of money for what they were doing, or do you think like they more relied on like tip money more than anything?
From talking to a couple of them, I think they made a living wage, but they relied heavily on tips, and almost all the money they made was sent back to their family in their home country to help their families survive.
Okay, so is it safe to say that the people that were mostly working on those crew lines from like other different countries, but not America, more likely it's more of other countries instead of America, more or less,
Oh yes, none of them were American. They were all uh, Filipinos or Eastern Europeans.
that were working there?
Yes, that were working on the cruise line.
Okay, and then moving on to the next question. When you guys stopped at different ports that you stopped at on the cruise line, did you go outside of, I guess, the ports? I can say, would you would go outside of that on that country that you had stopped at? Or
Oh,
was it mainly just you stayed at where the tourism attractions are?
right. And any excursions that were connected with the cruise line.
But you
Nothing
they
else.
but and then did they really encourage you to go outside of those types of areas, or they mainly have you stay in those types of attractions and tourism areas or excursions, like you said?
They didn't encourage you to go outside.
And when you did go outside, they told you to be very careful because of the high crime rates and to be very careful of the local population when you did go out.
Okay. And then when you guys were there on, I guess I would say the cruise line or the other ports that you were at in the other countries, would you say that the way they portrayed those people's culture or how they did things, the food, do you think it really showed what they truly were, or do you feel like it was more of a front, or they just kind of just planned it out more than anything?
I think it was planned toward what you would expect that country to be rather than what it actually was.
Okay. And then I guess towards the end of your cruise, when you're heading back to where you live, wherever you go to get on the cruise line, did you say you could have a good feel for how the locals live and their actual culture and all that? Any of those?
Probably not.
No, not true. Not truly. You more felt like it was more. It was
It was all
more
more staged.
more staged, and it was more influenced by the cruise line
Yes,
company or
definitely.
the.
Yep.
Okay. And to my last question for you both would be: do you feel like the tourist industry, the cruise line, like you both had said you went on, is more of a neo-imperialized way of how today's society is, of where the little smaller countries they're being imperialized by bigger companies from the tourist industry, and they're basically getting the shorter end of the stick.
Well, I think that so many of these smaller countries are so poor that they depend heavily on the tourist industry. So whatever it takes to get tourists there to spend their money is what they do. And whether it's the locals or in most cases probably a foreign company that's running the resort, this is how these people survive. And so they do whatever they have to do to get the tourists there to spend their dollars.
All right. Thank you both for your time, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.